And hello again, everyone. We're back for another edition of Panther Pride here on TV 24. Mickey Shaddricks along with Welborn head coach Jeff Smith. Coach, a big night for you Friday night. Picked up your first win of the season, first region win of the year, and also it was a happy homecoming, which is always a good thing with your win over Pleasant Valley.
Well, I thought we had, especially that day, Friday, we had a really good homecoming parade. Great pep rally. All the elementary school was at it, and they just really enjoy it so much. And I really appreciate Miss Chandler bringing them over there for that. Then before the game, you could just tell our kids were ready to play. And then we went out there and played a much improved Pleasant Valley team and pitched a shutout against them. That was our first shutout we've had in the last 4 years.
Well, you jumped out to a 21-0 halftime lead. Took the game's opening kickoff, drove down, I think, 60-plus yards. I know you had to be pleased with coming out and controlling the game right off the bat with your first possession. Absolutely,
and one good thing about that too, not that it was good that we had two big penalties during that drive, but we were able to overcome those penalties and still score on that first drive. I thought that was really big in the game.
Defensively, you dominated. You held them to right at 100 yards the whole game, which is really unheard of.
96 actually.
In any opponent, but to do that is really special. Forced a couple of turnovers in that game as well. Talk about the defense.
Well, I mean, we had a good week of practice, and Wednesday when we were putting everything together and when we worked on defense, it was as good a defensive practice as we've had, in the last couple of years. And matter of fact, I really had to dial them back that day from getting after each other. So we felt we had a really good plan defensively, and it worked out, and we did.
And the homecoming aspect, I know that's always an issue and a concern for a coach, but you want to enjoy it, but then you want to go to the game and play well, and that's exactly what happened.
Well, we did. I tell you, we did some good things here in the week. Thursday night, we usually have a bonfire before for the homecoming game. Well, we moved it out to our park. And so we practiced right after school, of course, on Thursday, and then afterwards they had tailgating down there at the park. We had the youth football over there practicing, and then at 5 o'clock they had tailgating all around for all the different classes, 7 through 12. The players got to go down there and be amongst that. And then we had our bonfire at 7:30, and all the youth kids were able to come over there to it, and we had a big bonfire and pep rally, and it was really good that night. And then, of course, it carried over into Friday.
All right, a great week out at Welborn last week. We've got highlights of the homecoming victory over Pleasant Valley coming up on Panther Pride. Stay with us. A gorgeous night for football on homecoming night, Coach. Great atmosphere out at the Hill.
It just is there's no better place to play a high school football game in my mind is on the Hill at Welborn. It's just an exciting place to play at. We start the game off right here. You see Jets has a good run, and before that, Austin McQueen had a good run to start the game off. Here, Kid had a great night, had over 100 yards rushing, and was 4 for 4 for extra points, and played well on defense too. He just really played well. Here you see this is the first touchdown right here. Austin carries it in right here. It was just a good first drive we had.
As you mentioned, had to overcome a couple of penalties.
We did,
well.
And you saw the scoreboard. We got a new scoreboard the night before and got that up and going. And you see Walker Hayes made a good tackle right there in the open field. Here they have man, what a shot. And Austin came up there, man, you talk about a shot to get the crowd going and the team going. You see the enthusiasm. And
that's your quarterback hitting like that.
That's right, and playing safety. And here's Jamire Curry off the backside there making a big sack. And look at the players, how excited they are to play. And right here we get a big interception again. Right here, all Austin makes. I told him before the game I felt like he was really going to have a good night, and he did, both offensively and defensively. Again, on defense, pressured the quarterback right here. Jet made an outstanding interception and really got up in there and took it out of the sky right here. And I thought he was actually going to take it back, and he was trying to wait for his blockers to get in front of him to carry it on in. Here, Kid finishes off that drive there with a big run. And again, I was just very proud of him. He had just a great night. Him and Jamire here, both of them are seniors and been a big part of our program for a while. Here, Jet has a good run right here, and you know, carries it on here, and you know, carries a couple people with him. Again, Kid, again, like I said, he had over 100 yards rushing, and look how he's playing, and watch at the end of the drive here, how he covers up the ball here and finishes the drive up. I was very proud of him and the effort that he gave. Had our center down there in front of him here, blocking right here. Austin carries it in on quarterback sneak right behind our center and our weak guard, and finish that drive off. Again, we're back here on defense again. They had to throw a little slant pass here, but look at all the players running to the ball. That was a defensive tackle there, Jet, and all those who came back to the football. Here we get our third interception of the first half right here. Calvin Sminks, another freshman, intercepts the pass.
And there you see your halftime score, 21-0. You really, Coach, just come out in the first part of this game with that opening drive, marching down, overcoming those penalties, scoring right away. You just really took control of this game from the get-go.
Well, and we told them we wanted to have a good start. You know, before the game started, I told those players, I said, look, the first 5 minutes of this game's going to tell a lot. And we came out and really had a good start. And even though we had those penalties that first drive, they overcame them because of their focus and determination. And I was very proud of them for that. The 5 minutes before the half two, that's another critical time in the game, and we came out and really did well in that too, and then scored like right there with 2 minutes left in the half right there, and made it 21-0.
And Pleasant Valley had been playing well. I mean, even though they hadn't still looking for a win, they well coached, and they came out and executed. You had to basically come out and play well to get control of this game.
Oh, absolutely. Look, they're much improved, and then they've got some older kids. You know, they're mostly a junior-senior football team. And you know, and got after it real good. Tough kids, and you know, that first half was very physical, and actually the second half was too. So I mean, it's not like you just gonna go roll your helmet out there and win over a homecoming opponent. They were our first region game, and a very formidable region opponent.
Well, as we mentioned, it was homecoming, and the Wellborn Band did a great job at halftime on Friday night. As we go to break, we'll listen in to the Wellborn High School Marching Band. And we're back on Panther Pride. Head into the second half now, kicking off to Pleasant Valley.
It kicked off, and we had a sophomore, Chase Carroll, come down there and make a big tackle here, and look how excited he was after he did it. Came back out there. Pleasant Valley hit a good run on us right there, and also came up and smacked their running back pretty good. We stopped them there on 4th and 1. Walker Hayes came up, made a big tackle there, and picked the guy up and basically carried him back. Here we ended up on that drive before right there, had that punt. Jet made a good tackle there. Here comes Ked again. I mean, Ked just had an outstanding night. He comes running through there, looks like a freight train. Finished the run good. Here we come back out through here. Javion gets by a guy here. They knock him out of bounds here. We're getting into, we're still in the bottom of the third quarter here. Again, defense is just playing good. I mean, we got the point in the game here. where we just felt like our defense was handling, and we did go a little bit conservative because of it. Here, Calvin contains it, but right here, and it comes back and actually makes a tackle. Here, you see here, Jamiron again, backside right there, comes off the edge here, makes a good tackle. All right, and here comes, now Jed has a good run right here. Stiff arms one guy right here and gets knocked out of bounds here, probably about the 20-yard line. I come up here, we throw a pass in here, touchdown right there, and you ended up getting a score right there, and we kicked the extra point right there, and it makes it 28-0. That number 6 for Pleasant Valley has been such a player all these years in here. I got a lot of respect for him. I don't know his name, but every year we played him, he's played so hard and everything. You just, you know, even though we're opponents on the field and everything, after the game, you got to show respect to the, you know, to each other. And I just thought that number 6, all these years we played against him, has always really showed up and played hard.
All right, the final score as Welborn picks up their first region victory of the year, 28-0 over Pleasant Valley. Coach, let's take a look at the individual player awards.
Our scrambler was Dylan Gilbert, sophomore, had a good night blocking. Racehorse Award goes to our best back, and it was Ked Harris. He had over 100 yards rushing. Headhunter was a tie between Jet and Javion Thomas. Both of them had 9 tackles apiece. The Big Hog Award is the best defensive line and linebacker performance, and that Jet went to Jet. Pancake block was Calvin Spinks and Dylan Gilbert, and that's a freshman and sophomore up there. Hardest hit was Austin McQueen. We saw that. Meanest Panther, Walker Hayes. That's the best defensive back performance. 12th man was Ked Harris. He went 4 for 4 with extra points. Our offensive player of the week was Ked Harris, and our defensive player of the week was Austin McQueen.
All right, congratulations to those young men. Coach, 3 games in now.
That's
we
right.
talked about the North Jackson game that really could have won to open the season. The loss to Sachs, first region win against Pleasant Valley. 3 weeks in, how do you see your team improving so far this year?
A lot. We had a point in practice on Wednesday where we had one of our, well, it was Chase Carroll, the one that made the tackle on the kickoff, and that's why he was on the kickoff of what I saw at practice. He really got after us. He was on the scout defense. And Javion blocked him, and then he fought off that block and then was blocked by Jamiron Curry. But the whole exchange was, all with them 3 was such good hitting, and it wasn't animosity between them afterwards. They were just getting after each other, having fun doing it. And I just thought to myself, I said, man, we are getting better. And you could feel us getting better during the week. Again, this week's going to be trying with the hurricane stuff and the weather. We're going to have to dodge weather and all that. But we are getting better, and you know we're playing a lot of young players. You know, again, like I mentioned, Chase there, he's just a sophomore too. So we're playing a lot of young players, but those young players are getting maturing and getting this experience, and they're getting better. And we use this first region game. We call that basically our first ball game of the season, and very pleased with their performance.
Well, more region activity this week. A big game with Weaver coming up on Friday night. We're going to talk about that in just a bit. But coming up next, we'll have our player spotlight for the week on defensive back Walker Hayes. We continue here on Panther Pride. And back on Panther Pride, couldn't do this each week without our loyal sponsors, one of whom is Wise Environmental Solutions. In Oxford, they're a leader in the field of enhanced waste collection and resource recovery services. Wise offers a variety of services for residential, business, and government customers, including portable restrooms and restroom trailers for special events or construction sites. Wise also offers dumpster rental services when you need some extra capacity for home remodeling, yard projects. Also, Wise offers tent rentals for weddings, corporate events, or parties. All rentals include professional delivery and pickup and setup and takedown. All rentals are clean and well maintained and available at reasonable prices. You can call Wise Environmental at 832-7867 or visit them online. Proudly serving Calhoun, Etowah, Jefferson, St. Clair, and Talladega counties. Well, you hear the name Walker Hayes a lot each week here on Panther Pride. You saw him in the highlights, saw him on the list of player awards, and Walker Hayes is our player profile for this week. Here's Gerhard Mathangani.
If you are creating a short list of attributes that describe what being a Welborn Panther means, words like toughness, relentless, and passionate are on the top of that list. It's no surprise that those words also describe Walker Hayes, and that great sense of tradition and pride is not lost on the senior.
It means everything. You know, I've had family members play up here. Most of the people that we play with have. It means a lot, you know, like people will stop you and say that they was listening to a game on the radio and stuff. That happened to me the other day at Food Outlet when I was getting some groceries.
I think Walker is an example of a Welborn Panther, and he has been, you know, since he's been up here. He's very tough, very coachable, works extremely hard, and gives us everything he's got.
The safety and receiver is one of the more versatile players on the roster, and he says he has seen a lot of growth in his game.
Oh, a lot stronger and faster, and grow respect for other teams and other people, you know, grow friendships with everybody on the team.
As the Panthers dive deeper into region play, the team's goals now start to come into focus.
Just having a winning season, and like you said, most of us played together since Little League up. We're just taking it one game at a time, one day at a time, trying to win every day.
Going into region play, we look at it now as this is the start of our season. You know, we had these 3 big games to start the season off right there, and I think it's made us nothing but better. And now we start region play, and as far as Walker goes, he's improved every week he's been out here.
For this week's player profile on the Panther Pride, I'm Gerhard Mathangani.
There's Walker Hayes, Coach. It kind of just epitomizes what Welborn football is all about, doesn't it?
Very much. And, you know, and this is my favorite part of the show was when we were able to spotlight these players. And, man, Walker, I've seen Walker since he was in the 7th grade come all the way up. And he's a very big example of what Welborn football is all about right there. And he's a fine young man off the field. And it's just given so much to our program right there. And I'm just honored I've gotten to be with him all this time.
And in a game that's dominated oftentimes by the biggest and the strongest, there's still a place for guys like this.
Absolutely. Well, he don't know he's small, so let's not tell him, because he comes up and he hits like a truck. And I just think so much of him, and he's given us so much, and just been such a big part of our program.
Well, a big challenge ahead this week. Coach mentioned the hurricane that we're obviously going to be dealing with in East Alabama, how that could possibly affect practice schedules for the week, and also a very good opponent ahead in the Weaver Bearcats. We'll talk about that as we continue on Panther Pride. And back on Panther Pride, here's the matchup for this Friday night. Welborn travels to Weaver at Bill Bryan Stadium in a key 3A Region 5 matchup. 7 o'clock kickoff for the Panthers and the Bearcats. And again, with this being region activity, we'll start keeping up with the region standings each week here on Panther Pride. And taking a look at 3A Region 5, there you see Piedmont, Randolph County, and Welborn all 1-0 in the region. And this will be Weaver's first region game of the season. They were off last week. By the way, Weaver comes in, Coach. They're 2-0. They've beaten Hayden and they've beaten B.B. Comer. But obviously you're very familiar with Weaver and Coach Hamby and his team and his players. Talk about the challenge coming ahead for you Friday night.
Well, first off, you know, what makes him go is Coach Hamby's son, you know, Dalton. He plays quarterback for him, and he is truly their trigger man, and he gets them all going. And, you know, that's going to be the big thing this week is how we're going to contain him, you know, and keep him from making so many plays on us. And he don't just make plays himself. He helps his teammates make plays. He's a big team type player and creates a lot of problems.
Well, you've seen 2 different styles so far in your first 3 games. You had North Jackson, the big physical team, and Pleasant Valley tried to do that as well. And then Sachs brought their own unique challenge to the table with their team speed and the zone read and that type of thing. That's probably a little bit more about what you're going to see Friday night with Weaver.
Well, actually, we're probably going to see some of both. You know, Weaver can line up and smash math with you, or they can line up and they can, you know, spread the field and be more finesse with you. So we're going to see both sides of it. And plus, they're going to have a pretty tough defense, too. They moved Caleb Allison to middle linebacker, and he heads up their defense for them. So there again, they've got a key guy on defense leading them and a key guy on offense leading them right there. And it's going to create some challenges. But again, our kids now, they're getting experienced. Even though we're young, we're getting experience because we're seeing a lot of different styles, and we've been able to play up. So hopefully it will help. It will benefit us Friday night.
And you mentioned this earlier at the time of this taping. We don't know exactly what the hurricane situation is going to be like here in our area in the early part of the week, but obviously you could be dealing with some implications regarding your practice schedule.
Absolutely. Well, one, will we be in school? Will it be bad enough here that they'd cancel school on us? Two, is it going to be so bad weather-wise that we have to go inside? We just don't know yet. So, this is Sunday when we're doing the show and everything, so we're just going to have to play it day by day and we're going to have to just deal with whatever challenges come in front of us, and hopefully it'll be all out here by Friday night so we can play.
Yeah, that'll be the good news. I think by Friday we should
too.
have some great conditions for football. Coach, congratulations on the homecoming win.
Appreciate it.
And look forward to the matchup with Weaver on Friday. We'll be back with all the highlights next week right here on Panther Pride.